The topic we're going to talk about is getting reviews. Do you feel challenged in getting reviews? Or how do you ask for reviews? How do you handle a negative or a low review? All of those things can be very, very scary to an artist. They can be scary for anyone that's in a small business because we live and breathe by the reviews. But as artists, we really put ourselves out there. Most of us put our heart and soul and passion into what we create. And we're hoping that we can connect with individuals emotionally. So when we put something out there, our creative work is who we are as a person, or who our work represents who we are as a person. So combine that with running a small business that you're trying to make a living on, and you rely upon honest and good reviews. That can be pretty stressful. So what do I do? Well, I've been really bad over the years about asking for reviews. I forget. It's not that I don't want them. I do. I want them. But in the past, I kind of like, oh, well, they'll give me a good review, or they'll go online and they'll review me. I don't have to ask for it. It'll just come natural, especially after you've had such a good experience with a client and you know they loved it, and they tell you and they thank you and they send you emails and, thank you cards and text messages, and, or you were there to experience their reaction and you just know they love it. And then there's crickets online. No one else in the world knows they loved it. And you don't even know if they're sharing your contact information, which, word of mouth is a great way for your business to spread as an artist. And as artists, we rely upon that. So recently, I will just say, well, let me just step back just a minute. One of the things that I do just to assure, because I know that I can't always count on getting a review online. Not that they're going to give me a bad review, but that they're just going to do it. You can't drag somebody to their computer to make them do it. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't give reviews unless it's something negative. That's just the way people are. It's like, oh, you go into a restaurant and it was the most wonderful dinner, but you don't give them a great review. But the moment that there's a fly in your soup, oh, okay, write this down, So by nature, I think humans are very critical. There I am being critical of people in nature. So we tend to look and focus on the negative. We'll see that little black speck on a full white sheet of paper, the teeny tiny little black speck, but we don't look at the entire white sheet of paper. So we draw attention too much to the negative. So for that reason, most people don't post reviews unless it's something negative. So when you're a small business person, especially when you're an artist, you just really have to ask. What I have done over the years, though, as many of you have seen, I love to get people's reaction on video if they allow it. So if I'm there to deliver a painting, or if they are receiving it through a shipment or something like that, or they gave it as a gift, sometimes they'll record a video and then send it to me to allow me to use it on my social media. So I love doing that, because then you actually see the person's true, real reaction. And many times they cry. And I just love that. I'm sorry, but I do. I love it when people cry. Because I know I touch them, and then that makes me cry, and then it's a whole sob fest. And anyway, but they're all good tears. They're not bad tears. So what I have done, though, of recent is I did start asking for reviews. The first thing I started doing is I started posting QR codes for asking for reviews. Whenever I was like at a live event, painting demo, or I do paint parties for people occasionally through a side business. And so I have a little, QR code. I was sharing Yelp. I thought, oh, Yelp is the best one. That was my point of view. Yelp has got to be the way to go. But I found out I do not like Yelp. If I could review Yelp, I would review Yelp. Yelp pulls down every single review. It doesn't matter. They pull it down. I'll get excellent reviews, beautiful reviews from people that they voluntarily sent. And Yelp will pull it down and says, we can't validate this review. I'm like, what are they expecting? These are actual clients who have received work, and they have pulled down every review I ever get. And it just drives me batty. And then someone told me it's because the person is on social media with you. And so they look at it as, oh, well, this is your friend. But most of my clients become my friends. It's funny, you know, if I do work for them, we develop a relationship and then they become my friends. They weren't my friends necessarily before they asked me, or maybe they were and they've been just like waiting to ask me, you know, just kind of get to know me and see what kind of art so they follow me on social media. And so because of that, Yelp pulls it down. It makes no sense to me. So Yelp is great, I guess, for big companies and maybe for food service. I don't know, but they are not good for artists. I'll just flat out say that. My experience, at least at this point in time in 2023, do not use Yelp or do not rely upon Yelp for reviews. Facebook is good. Facebook has reviews. So if you do have a profile, it is good. The only issue that I have with Facebook is that it's not searchable. So if somebody goes to find your business online and then they want to find reviews, it's not going to be searchable unless are on Facebook. Then they're looking for you specifically. Then they pull up your reviews. So somebody who's just posting or putting in a question on the internet and says, you know, I'm looking for an artist in my local area, and then my name pops up and then it says reviews, it's not going to pull up Facebook reviews. So Facebook is just limited to just Facebook. It's not searchable except for when they're on Facebook. And then there's other review places, you know, there's good places. Like I used to use Thumbtack all the time. Thumbtack was because of my murals in particular. So I can get good reviews that way, and it is searchable. So I do like that, but it doesn't always work for things like commissions for pet portraits. That's just not a thing on Thumbtack. Not really. It's not really that. I haven't checked it out recently to see because other things have worked better for me. But perhaps that's one you can investigate. If you have good experience, let me know. You know, House, that's another good one for those who work with interior designers on doing artwork or doing murals or things like that. That's a good one. If you sell on Etsy, you've got Etsy reviews. Again, like Facebook, the reviews are limited to just that shop, to just that place. So it's not like somebody can search for your reviews online. It's only going to be if they're searching for your reviews in Etsy. It's like selling on eBay and you've got your you know, your reviews for being a salesperson. That doesn't post on searchable, you know, search engines. That's only when somebody is on that particular sales site. So those are good ways to get reviews. But if you want online reviews, I'm learning, and I learned this actually from a client, that Google reviews, that's the way to go. So I actually, just this week, I went on and I went back and I messaged a lot of my clients that I hadn't talked to in a while, that I've done work for over the years, and just asked them if they wouldn't mind posting a review for me. I understand people are busy. It's a lot to ask for you to do it, but I sent them the link specifically for Google reviews for my account, and it was wonderful. I had so many of you go on, and thank you so much for the reviews that you've given me. I appreciate that, because now what that does is when somebody is searching online. These are honest reviews. These are my actual clients who have commissioned me or bought work or hired me to do a mural or whatever. And they can, you know, people can read when they find me on Google, because Google's the biggest search engine that there is. And now that helps. Now, I did already have several reviews on Google from those of you in particular who had done it, because of course I have a Google account and, you know, my business was listed on Google. And so I did already have some reviews. So these just added to it, which helps me to build my business as far as a reputation is concerned, to get it out there. And I had a 5-star review. So I had a little bit of a stressful thing that kind of happened, because I had one review that it was done of a beautiful dog, a portrait that I absolutely loved. It's one that I was always so proud of. When I gave it to the individual, I videoed the reaction, and it was tearful. It was emotional. They loved it. I mean, it was just overwhelming, made me cry, you know, it was great. I felt really, really good about it. And her review was excellent. So don't get me wrong. Her review was excellent. Her written review was just beautiful. And her sentiments were just how I knew she felt. And I thought it was great. But her written review didn't match her stars. She gave me 4 stars. I had a perfect 5-star review and she gave me 4. So I'm like, oh, maybe she accidentally just didn't hit, you know, because I've done that before. And then have to go back and, oh, I didn't mean to, you know, I meant for it to hit all 5. Anyway, so I, you know, was concerned, not so much that it was a mistake, because, you know, things happen, but that wasn't my concern. My concern was, well, maybe I didn't do something. Maybe she wasn't as happy as I thought she was. So even though her written review was just glorious, it was wonderful. So I messaged her just to make sure, because I believe in delivering excellence. I want to go above and beyond for anyone who asks for my work. I'm not perfect. I am a one-man show. I've said this so many times, but at the same time, I do really strive to do greater than what a person will ask from me. So I just ask for suggestions on what I could have done that would have gotten me a 5-star review. If she would just let me know what I could have done better, because I want to improve for the next person. If there was something that I had done, I certainly want to rectify it. And her comment back to me was, no, it was great. I just don't think anyone's perfect and deserves 5 stars. So I now have 4.9 based on how many reviews that I have. I get that sentiment. I used to have teachers, we probably all did, had school teachers that felt like no one deserved 100 or an A+ or an A for that matter. I remember teachers like that. And that used to upset me. Not that I was an A+ student and everything. I was in some things, but not in everything, that's for sure. But whenever I worked really, really hard at something and I couldn't figure out what I had done wrong, to not get an A, it was disappointing. So it's even more disappointing when you're in business, especially a small business, because now my rating is a 4.9 and I really want a perfect rating. I know no one's perfect. And when you read the reviews, if a person chooses to read reviews, then they'll see, that she was happy, everyone was happy. It's just most people will just look at the stars. So, lesson learned. I don't know what I could do differently. Perhaps you have a suggestion on that. I will say that as a consumer, if I know that I am very happy with the person, I'm going to give 5 stars. And I will think twice about giving someone a negative review, especially when they're a small business. Most people do make a mistake once in a while, and they need a chance to rectify it. So if it's a repeated thing, or if there's something dishonest going on, then definitely, that needs to be addressed so that other people don't fall prey to something negative. But small businesses need support. And so I know that I will always give a good review to those who deserve it, and I will give them the stars that they deserve. And if a person gave me awesome service and I'm very happy with it, I will give them 5 stars. I also know now that if I see somebody who has received 4 stars, I'm going to read the reviews, because in my mind, in the past, I've only looked at the businesses that received 5 stars. And that may be a mistake on my part, because they may be very similar to me, and just have somebody that just doesn't get 5 stars, and that lowers their ratings. So, and there's nothing you can do about it. When you're an artist, you're putting your work out there. You're putting your entire emotional well-being out there for people to attack. So you really have to have a strong conviction and recognize that it's not an attack on you personally. Wipe it off your shoulders and go on, being confident in the fact that you are delivering your best. And if you're a consumer, please take care of those ones who are small business. Please take care of artists, other artists. We all need to help each other, especially in this struggling economy, not hurt each other. So that's my take for today. Just thought I would share. If you have a better way of handling any negative or low reviews, I would love to hear about it. Have you ever received a negative or a low review? Do you feel challenged in getting reviews? How do you ask for reviews, or do you ask for reviews? Those are all things that I'd love to hear your opinions and comments about. So let me know. And I will let you get back to painting. Hopefully that's what you're doing. I'm finishing this one up. It's almost ready to be shipped off to their forever home. Aren't they cute? I just love them. All right, have a great day.